I've always been surrounded by Welsh artists and Welsh musicians, so when I thought, you know what, I've actually got a platform here that we can use to shout about and let these amazing artists have a little bit more oomph, because they deserve it and they do so much for so little, and I think wherever I can shout about them, I will shout about them. Hi KLAT, my name is Connor Morgans and this is my Get to Know Me with KLAT. Yeah, for sure. So I started when I was 16 really, when I first started Radio Cardiff, which is the voluntary station, the community station in Cardiff, literally around the corner. And yeah, straight away I was hooked. And since then, when I was 18, I joined Radio Wales as an apprentice. And from there, I freelanced, had contracts, worked with the likes of Radio 1, 1 Extra, Nation Radio, and yeah, it's been a whirlwind. But I've absolutely loved it, and yeah, really fortunate to be in the industry. But it's a tough old one. It's not an easy one, but we love it. So yeah, really thankful for it. What pursued me? I always say this one story, and it was like when I was super young, I really wanted to be like a DJ and be like, basically I wanted to be like Martin Garrix. I love my dance music, and I was like, do you know what, I'm gonna be like a superstar DJ. I made a little bit of music and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I don't know how these guys make amazing dance songs and all this, I can't do it. So I kind of like packed that in, but I still loved music. So I was basically like, well, what job could I get that my mum would be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's like a real job. Like, you're not copying out anywhere or trying to dream a fantasy up. But like, what still kind of, you know, got that urge out of me. So I really loved music, and I thought, what's a proper job? Oh, radio. Yeah, I love radio, why not? Let's do that. So that's kind of how I got into it. In terms of like highlights, I'd say for me, God, when I was like 18 or 16, or I can't even remember now, but when I was working with Radio 1 at the big weekend in Swansea, that was my first kind of like proper Radio 1 hands-on experience. Always wanted to work there, and working for them in Swansea first, but for the big weekend was crazy. So that was really fun. But also more recently producing Sam and Danny for Weekend Breakfast, live from Cardiff, the first like full-time show from Cardiff. To have had a hand in that, even in the slightest bit, was huge, and we worked with them to get them nominated for Best New Presenter at the Arias, which is like the Radio Oscars, I think everyone calls it, and yeah, so kind of like appreciative to work with them guys, because they're so much fun. Good question. I think kind of what the challenges are kind of one, really understanding the presenter, I think is so important, and it's such like an interview question, but like it really is. Like, I think working with these people who are like, one, often kind of like maybe new into the game or just getting out with presenting, you're kind of like jumped in, especially as a freelancer, you jumped in last minute to kind of go, right, get these guys sounding great, get an amazing show out, all while kind of reaching the brand image or hitting the certain deadlines or hitting the certain timers. There's so many things to remember, but I think a lot of the things, just remembering you're there to have fun. Especially Radio 1, those guys are just so much fun. Like, I think that's so important to be mindful that you're there to have fun, play great music, and just get on with it. So yeah, I really am so thankful. I think the challenges are getting to know the presenters and getting to know their styles. Once you've got that out of the way, like once you've kind of on a really good rapport with one another, you're dreaming, you're having such a good time. Like, I think once you've got that out of the way and you're in the show, that's the fun part. Like, a lot of radio is behind the scenes or lead up to the show or scheduling things fall apart. And you know, once I had an entire hour of the schedule be deleted. Like, that was the night before, it was Friday, show Saturday morning, and I deleted the entire hour. And I was so stressed. I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? No one's in the office. We finally sorted it out like 2 hours later. But yeah, so things can happen unexpectedly, things can go wrong on air, but you know, I think it's not the end of the world as much as like it is my life. It's not the end of the world. Not many people kind of like really listen intently, but it's trying to make them listen intently, trying to make them listen and turn it up a bit more. But yeah, so much fun. For sure, and this is kind of like another angle of my kind of like career and my little bit of fun that I get up to most weeks, and that is, you know, chatting and playing Welsh music, which is something that I was like, you know, I've got into now for so long, and I've just almost been surrounded by it since like day dot, working in Welsh radio and working with Radio Wales and stuff. I've always been surrounded by Welsh artists and Welsh musicians, so when I thought, you know what, I've actually got a platform here that we can use to shout about and let these amazing artists have a little bit more oomph, because they deserve it and they do so much for so little, and I think wherever I can shout about them, I will shout about them. So for me, I guess my selection process is really quite minimal in a sense, because I'm like so passionate about shouting about people. If I can, I think it suits the show or suits the playlist, whatever it is, I'm like, I want to shout about these guys, so I want to get them in. But in terms of like kind of being like a bit more particular, like when I do my Adlais playlist, we have 15 songs, so I often find myself struggling to kind of like narrow down 15 artists, 15 songs, but I think it's being mindful that what are the big hitters, like if a huge artist like Luke RV or Makes the Great or Adlais have released a new song, I think that's really important to kind of be like, well, this is a huge song of Welsh music, but we get that in, and then what I think is shouting about the small guys, you know, like are these people only a few followers, a few listens that have had a personal like connection with me, like a lot of artists like Josh Hicks and Renner at the moment who have like been really kind of great personally with me. I feel like rewarding that is so important. Like, you know, if you've taken the time to show a bit of love to me, of course I'm going to show it back. So yeah, I think it's as best as possible, be varied, be open, and be mindful of the big guys because, you know, they're doing well for a reason. So kind of teased a bit about it, I guess then. It's called Adlais, and it stands for Echo in Welsh. And I spent so much time on that. Like, I was there, like, I want to have a brand to celebrate Welsh music. And I want it to be a good, like, one word name. What could that be? So I was talking for ages, Google Translate, and checking in words, checking in names. And we came up with Adlais, which was echo. It's like, I thought, well, we're echoing new Welsh sounds. And I thought, okay, this word's quite cool, we'll go with that. So really happy we found that word. And yeah, so we've got a playlist which we update every single month, which is so much fun. We've just updated it recently, and we've got Neeks as the kind of top artist, the cover artist this month, and she is amazing. Her new song, Mate, is insane. I love it. And yeah, so like that is just a bit of fun for me to kind of shout about on socials and across Spotify. And we've had 3 gigs now, we're coming out on our 3rd one. So we've had 1 gig in The Moon in Cardiff, who I could shout about all day, they're amazing. For our 1st gig, they supported us no end, I was so thankful for that. We had our 2nd gig then in Bangor, in a place called The Foundry. And the 3rd gig we're hoping to have in North Wales. And I think I'm really keen to kind of get out of Cardiff maybe and get out of the city and push Welsh music where it's being listened to, where it's being heard. And yeah, I think we definitely will have another gig in Cardiff for sure. But like, yeah, I think for me it's really important. Like, Wales is huge, and there's a lot of people around the place that deserve amazing Welsh music, and hopefully they appreciate it and hopefully they enjoy it. So really looking forward to the next one. Yeah, no, good question. Thank you so much for asking. So yeah, so a lot of it is under wraps at the moment, very early doors, but you know, I think for us kind of going into this one is one, we want to have it in North Wales, whether that's Bangor or Wrexham or Caernarfon. I think we're really open to kind of where it's going to be. We want it to be up north, and where possible, we want to have Welsh language and English language artists. I think this is the first one we've made a real effort to kind of be mindful of Welsh language music, which plays a huge part of the playlist and the brand of Adlais. So we're definitely going to have a lead Welsh language band or artist. So we're really excited for that. But yeah, it's really under wraps at the moment, but we're hoping to do it in September. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So we're going to have 4 artists, and yeah, just have to follow the Adlais page to find out who they're going to be. Yeah, I was excited for this question. And I thought about loads when you first asked it, and now I've kind of forgotten about it, so it's going to be blank again. But no, I think for me, me and my girlfriend are really kind of, like, we've had this question before, like, we're not quite foodies. Like, I don't think we're like appreciate our food, we just demolish it. But we do like to try loads of different places. But the one place we tried recently it's actually in Cardiff, and it's called Crispy Duck. And I believe it's like just outside Cathays in Canton, and it's so good. It's so good. It's like Asian, Japanese. It's lush. Like, we had like this sweet potato like tempura thing, and it was delicious. Like, we literally went the night before, and the following day we were like, we need something for lunch. What should we get? Should we get Crispy Duck? And we were like, no, we can't do that. It's so expensive. But yeah, so I think we're very like Asian-y inspired like food lovers. There's a hot place that we went to. What was it called? A hot bowl? Hot plate? can't remember what it's called. There's a place also in Cardiff which like you kind of like have these like soup bowls, and you kind of like mix things together and they cook it on the plate right in front of you. It's crazy. So yeah, we tried lots of different places. We tried to like not go to the same old people, like the regular hitters like Nando's and stuff, but boy do we love Nando's and stuff. So maybe, you know, we'll go back there more, but we like to venture out. Good question. For me, I like to have a walk, and I think me and my girlfriend are always kind of walking around for new walks and stuff, so always in Cardiff. So I think for me, in terms of a good walk, very cliche, but I love walking around like park and stuff. I think when I get the chance to do that, I love it. I don't do it very often, but I want to do it more. We watched a video of someone literally vlogging to come into Cardiff, and they went around Butte Park, and I was like, I actually like forget just how good Butte Park is. We can't take it for granted, it's a good place. But also like the venues here in Cardiff are insane. Again, like Porter's is like somewhere that I want to go to a lot more, especially now that they've moved. But Porter's is a sick venue. Like the people that they get there are epic, such a good venue. The drinks are good, the vibes are good. I love Porter's, like this is so good. And the Welsh music scene here is great in Cardiff, and the venues are really sick as well. Like Club is just top of its game. So it's really fun to see that, really cool to have that on our doorstep. Yeah, for sure. In terms of motivation, I think it's kind of like selfishness. I think for me, for so long, I've been kind of like getting in my own head and pushing myself, and kind of like letting the radio show and the radio world just kind of take a step back of my own self. I was like, no, the whole point of radio is that we're shouting and playing other artists. Like, it's so important to be mindful of everyone else. So I think kind of like a point where I felt really kind of happy where I am. I wanted to push further and kind of realize that I've got a passion for Welsh music and I want to tap into that a lot more. So I think for me, it was kind of like, well, what skills do I have and how can I apply that into kind of like promoting? And that just kind of was like, you got a radio show, use that. Everyone's got Spotify, everyone uses Spotify, use that. And the whole kind of like gigs thing was a challenge for me. Like, I was seeing so many great promoters in Cardiff and around Wales, like do amazing things. And I was like, these guys are epic. And like, these guys are like, going out their way to book artists, maybe lose a bit of money themselves, but hope to kind of make a little bit back for the local area, the venue, the artists. And I was like, that seems like a challenge. I'm not sure I'll be good at it, but I want to try it. And really fortunate to have done that. But I think the challenges are those gigs. Like a lot of things are quite easy. Like once you know a lot of people in the industry, like a lot of times it's like, yo, can I get your song for this mix that I'm doing maybe, like, or can I get your song for the show, or can I do this and can I do that? And they're always super open and super accessible. But for gigs, it's quite difficult because you're talking to venues and then organising dates and organising the acts, and a lot of things kind of like are spinning at the same time. So lots of balance at one time. But it's a big challenge, but a huge reward. So I think that's kind of like a massive mission on ours to kind of hopefully streamline that process, and to a point, I guess, where Adlais is built up a bit more, where it can be like, oh my god, like Adlais when they come here, maybe let's make this super easy for them and let's get them involved. But it's a fun challenge, but I love it. Like, it wouldn't be fun if it was easy, I guess, would it? Ooh, I've had a lot of lazy days recently. I had the most carnage week last week, so I'm really thankful to have had a lazy kind of week this week, which might be bad, especially someone like me who's like, feels really bad when I take any time off. Like, I think that's my bad thing, is that when I take time off, I feel bad. I'm like, I should be working, I should be doing something, whatever it is, connecting, making graphics, or just doing this, doing that. So for me, it's kind of like, take some time for yourself. My girlfriend and my friends have really kind of echoed that as well. They've been like, dude, take some time for yourself. So I'm really thankful for them. So, spending time with them, I think, is the best way for me, having that kind of energy and like being able to kind of like get them to tell me, chill out. It's so important. And yeah, for lazy day for me, it's kind of like never really that lazy though. Like, again, I want to kind of go out and see my friends. If I've got time, a whole day spare, quite rare nowadays, but I'm like, I want to use this, I want to capitalize on this. I want to see my friends, we go for a drink. The best things that we ever do is go to gigs together, like the times that we've been to like Porter's together, just like it's so easy, so chill. But yeah, I'm British, I guess. Like, we love a pint, so maybe that's my perfect kind of lazy day, but only a few because I'm not very good with them. So one pint, that does the trick for me on a lazy day, I think.